Deep inside the ocean, far below where sunlight can reach, there exists a group of creatures that look less like animals and more like something out of another world. These are deep-sea squids, and they reveal how life changes when it's pushed to the absolute limits of survival. You can't imagine all the different types of squids drifting through the ocean right now. Some live in complete darkness, so completely they've never seen light, in pressures that could crush a submarine, in environments where food is so rare that every movement must be calculated. As you descend deeper, their bodies stretch, warp, and transform in ways that seem unnatural at first glance. But none of it is random. Every strange shape, every glowing organ, every elongated limb is a direct response to the conditions they live in. And as we go deeper, these adaptations become more extreme, more unsettling, and harder to explain. And by the time we reach the deepest part of the ocean, we'll encounter a squid so bizarre that scientists still don't fully understand how it feeds, how it lives, or why it looks the way it does. A creature only seen a handful of times, drifting silently in total darkness. So stay with us as we descend through the layers of the ocean, zone by zone, to uncover why squids become more alien the deeper you go, and what they reveal about life at the edge of what's possible. Our journey begins in the epipelagic zone, the top 200 meters of the ocean. This is the sunlit layer where photosynthesis happens and life is abundant. Coral reefs flourish here. Fish swarm in massive schools. Predators rely on speed, vision, and agility. Squids living in this zone look the way most people expect squids to look. Reef squids glide through tropical waters, weaving between coral formations with streamlined bodies built for speed. Their skin flashes brilliant colors, not only for camouflage, but also for communication. They signal to each other, warn rivals, and coordinate movement with rapid color changes. They hunt fish and shrimp in well-lit water, using quick bursts of jet propulsion and arms lined with suction cups. There's no need for extreme adaptations here. Food is plentiful, hiding spots are everywhere. Vision works just fine. But even in these shallow waters, hints of what's coming begin to appear. Off the coasts of Australia and Papua New Guinea lives the pygmy squid, one of the smallest squid species known. Its mantle measures barely 3 centimeters long. Tiny enough to vanish into coral gaps, it trades speed for stealth, needing only scraps to survive. Instead of racing through open water, it stays close to the seafloor, blending into sand and sediment. It isn't frightening, it isn't monstrous, but it shows something important. Squids are already experimenting, shrinking, specializing, preparing. In forgiving environments, bodies stay compact and behaviors remain straightforward. But that won't last, because below this bright layer, the rules change fast. If we drop below 200 meters, the ocean turns hostile in ways the surface never prepares you for. Sunlight fades to a perpetual murky blue, then nothing. This is the mesopelagic, or twilight zone, down to about 1,000 meters, where temperatures crash, pressure builds, and photosynthesis ends. No plants, no easy meals, just endless drifts of marine snow, sinking scraps of dead things from worlds above. In this half-lit limbo, visibility is a liability. Predators lurk in every direction. Food arrives unpredictably. Squids here don't just adapt, they become something that feels profoundly wrong to our sun-accustomed eyes. But their weirdness isn't accidental. It's survival dialed to extremes. And that's what makes it so unsettling. Picture hovering in this dim expanse where a flicker could mean dinner, or your last moment. So some creatures fight the darkness with light. The firefly squid cloaks itself in glowing blue photophores, hundreds of tiny living lanterns. In shallower waters, flashes might flirt or warn. But here they serve darker purposes. counter-illumination to erase the squid's silhouette from below, luring curious prey closer, or signaling in synchronized mating swarms that light up the water like a ghostly rave. The glow is mesmerizing until you realize it's camouflage. In a place where being outlined against the faint surface glow means instant death, nothing is decorative. Everything is desperation disguised as beauty. Others choose erasure over illumination. Glass squids go almost completely transparent. Their bodies are clear jelly with organs floating inside like faint, disembodied machinery. In the twilight's diffuse haze, there's no place to hide, no rocks, no weeds, so they vanish into the water itself. This way, predators scan right past them, mistaking them for empty space. The creepiness lies in that near invisibility. Something is there, watching, breathing, and yet it isn't. Also, as you can imagine, scarcity breeds savagery. That's where the Humboldt squid, also known as the red devil, comes in. These aren't lone wanderers, they swarm in packs, sometimes dozens or hundreds, flashing rapid red and white pulses to coordinate lightning-fast attacks like a synchronized hunt. Their arms bristle with razor-edged hooks instead of soft suckers, ripping into prey with terrifying efficiency. And when food runs thin, that's the most horrifying part. It looks like mindless horror, blood-red flashes in the gloom, tentacles thrashing, but it's cold strategy. In a zone where hesitation starves you, pack aggression maximizes kills and punishes weakness. The violence isn't random, it's what keeps them alive. And that's what makes them so unnerving: intelligent brutality and coordinated lurking, just beyond the light. The weirdness escalates with asymmetry that borders on the grotesque. Next, it comes the strawberry squid, also called the cockeyed or jewel squid. His most famous feature? It's the eyes that don't match at all. One is huge, tubular, and yellow-tinted, staring upward to catch the faint silhouettes of prey drifting overhead against the dying surface glow. The other is smaller, blue, and points downward, tuned to spot the subtle bioluminescent twinkles from below. Its body sparkles with red photophores like scattered embers on ripe fruit. It looks deformed, almost monstrous, lopsided head, mismatched gaze, glowing like a living warning sign. Yet this bizarre setup is genius. Perfect dual vision for a world split between upwelling shadows and downwelling flashes. The unsettling distortion is exactly what lets it see everything, while we can't look away from how wrong it appears. Deeper in the twilight, where oxygen thins and movement becomes a luxury, passivity reigns. The vampire squid doesn't chase, doesn't bite, doesn't behave like a typical squid. It drifts in oxygen minimum zones. In these deadly layers avoided by most predators, the vampire squid moves with a slow, gelatinous body, the most energy-efficient way to survive. He's long, has sticky filaments, trail like spider silk, catching marine snow and mucus webs for passive feeding. When threatened, it detaches glowing arm tips as decoys, or it flips its webbed arms into a defensive cloak, hiding its body like a phantom. Its dark red-black hue and flowing webs evoke gothic folklore, a vampire of the deep, harmless, spectral. If you ask me, but what's his creepiness? I need to say that it's the non-aggression philosophy. It's the ghostly stillness, the cape-like shroud, the way it hovers in water that would suffocate anything else. A living relic that survives by almost doing nothing. And this is only one example. In the mesopelagic zone, strangeness crystallizes, bodies vanish or twist, eyes warp, packs turn violent, patience becomes predatory. These aren't monsters, they're masterpieces of adaptation in an unforgiving half-world. Glimpsed in grainy footage, rare captures, they feel alien, unknowable. Much of their lives, mating, lifespan, secrets, remain hidden in the gloom. Twilight isn't just dim. It's a mirror showing how far life will go to endure. And as we descend further, that strangeness only intensifies. At 1,000 meters, light disappears completely. The bathypelagic zone extends down to 4,000 meters, temperatures hover just above freezing, pressure climbs into the hundreds of atmospheres. Food is rare and unpredictable. Life here slows down. Some squids become enormous, others warp themselves into living traps. One of the most mysterious is the Promicoteuthis squid. Only a handful of specimens have ever been collected. It has unusual folded tissue around its beak that resembles lips or teeth, though they aren't true teeth at all. What purpose do they serve? Scientists are still trying to answer that, but the uncertainty alone makes it unsettling. At these depths, the most famous resident is another squid entirely. The Architeuthis dux, also known as the giant squid, can reach lengths of up to 13 meters. Its eyes are the largest of any animal on Earth, roughly the size of dinner plates, an adaptation designed to detect faint flashes of bioluminescence in total darkness. It drifts in the dark, an ambush predator. When prey passes close enough, it strikes with long feeding tentacles lined with toothed suction cups. Its main predator is the sperm whale. Scars on whales and giant squid beaks found in whale stomachs tell the story of brutal encounters far below human observation. You might be asking yourselves, but why grow so large? In the deep sea, size helps conserve heat, travel vast distances, and find mates in an empty world. But despite centuries of legend, we still don't know how long giant squids live, how often they reproduce, or how many exist. Here, creepiness peaks, not because of aggression, but because of isolation. From 4,000 to 6,000 meters lies the epipelagic zone. Here, the water is colder, the pressure is crushing, the seafloor is covered in fine sediment and scattered remains of dead organisms. Most animals here are slow, soft-bodied, and fragile. Squids that reach this depth are highly specialized. Colossal squid is one of them. Mismatched hamiltoni is heavier than the giant squid, with estimates exceeding 500 kilograms. It has shorter arms but massive rotating hooks that dig into prey. Its beak is strong enough to crush bone. It lives in Antarctic waters and is believed to be a powerful ambush predator. Despite its size, even the colossal squid is preyed upon by sperm whales, which dive to extreme depths in search of it. Most information about colossal squids comes from juveniles or dead specimens. No one has observed a healthy adult alive in its natural habitat. At this depth, uncertainty dominates. As we descend beyond 6,000 meters, we enter the hadal zone, the deepest environment on Earth. This is where the ocean floor fractures into massive trenches, including the Mariana Trench, which plunges nearly 11,000 meters below the surface. To truly understand just how extreme this place is, check out our previous video where we covered it in detail, breaking down what exists there and why it completely changes how we think about life on Earth. Down here, pressure exceeds 1,100 atmospheres. Temperatures hover just above freezing. There is no light, no plant life, and almost no movement. Life in the hadal zone is rare, fragile, and highly specialized. Very few animals can survive at these depths. One of the strangest ever recorded is the bigfin squid. Magnapinna species have long, elbowed fins and arms so thin they look like wires. These appendages can stretch up to 8 meters, trailing behind the squid as it drifts just above the seafloor. It doesn't chase prey. It doesn't rush. It simply hangs in the water, motionless, as if waiting for something to wander too close. Almost everything we know about bigfin squids comes from brief encounters with deep-sea submersibles. Adults have never been captured alive. Their behavior, their hunting strategy, even their full life cycle are still guesses. They appear slow, passive, silent, and deeply unsettling. At these depths, even sperm whales can't reach. Exploration is minimal. Less than 5% of the deep ocean has been mapped. And in the darkness below, there may be squids we haven't even imagined yet. As we rise back toward the surface, something becomes clear. The deep ocean isn't chaos, it's a filter. With every layer, life is stripped down, simplified, compressed, reshaped. Only what works survives. Squids reveal this better than almost any other creature. From sleek hunters in sunlit reefs to drifting phantoms in oxygen-starved depths, their bodies are living records of pressure, cold, darkness, and scarcity. What looks monstrous is simply evolution without comfort. And if life exists elsewhere, like beneath frozen crusts or in alien oceans far from any sun, it may not resemble something gentle. It might resemble something inevitable. The deep sea isn't horror, it's ingenuity, under extreme constraint. And squids are its signature. If this descent changed the way you see the deep ocean, let us know by leaving a comment below. Which squid did you find the most unsettling? And which depth surprised you the most? If you want to explore more of the ocean's hidden worlds, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next descent into the unknown.